Hello, everybody. Mr. Race here. This is our weekly news, actually, the first video vlog that I'm putting together for October 26, 2020. So, the first thing is I'm really excited to be able to share with everybody our brand new Frost Band and Orchestra Guide to Success supplemental book. This is our second edition. For our students, last year, our first edition had a lot of great information, but we've upgraded now. We have actually page numbers in there, table contents, where things are. We actually have some new information. We took some things out, but we did input some other things based on the things that we did last year. So I'm really excited about that. The students, it is free to them to use. The fundraising money that we did from last year did take care of the purchasing of these to have them made for them. The students you should be seeing these at home. For them to practice, they should have their name as well as their hour for a class. They got a lot of great information that they should be using at home, side by side to their method book, Sound Innovations for their ensemble. For 7th graders, they are using the Sound Innovations Blue Book, the book 1, and the 8th graders are using the Red Book, continuation. Everybody should have that method book by now. You can get it at most music stores, anywhere for about $9, $10 and cheaper. You can find it on Amazon. I've seen it used for $3 up to about $7, $8. So make sure those students are having that. We are using it in the class, and there's assignments that have already been assigned from those method books. So up next, every year I like to have our own Frost music wear, and that means hoodies and t-shirts. Now, I've had some students express some interest in purchasing some actual masks, which would have our logo on here. It looks like this with our falcon and our music symbol here, Frost Middle School Band and Orchestra. So it would look like that. It'd be like in the corner side of the mask. So there's some interest for that, as well as obviously our hoodies and t-shirts. I'm looking maybe to expand to some other items as well. So there's a particular company that would be putting that together. So once I get those logos picked out and designed, and we'll be doing a vote on those, they'll be set up a little shop for the students to purchase those, as well as our own Frost Middle School Band and Orchestra stickers that can be used for cases or cars. They're a one side 4 or 5 inch sticker that has a logo on there and Frost Band and Orchestra on there. So very exciting for those. And again, we like to show off our pride. We're not just a class, we are a team and a family. So we like to show that off. So a lot of us, we collaborate. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. For practicing at home, it's important that the students are finding a practice spot at home. So for them to make sure that they have their instrument, their Sound Innovations method book, their guide to success, their supplemental book, as well as a device for their to practice with the Sound Innovations recording. So on the back of the book, they have an area they can go online and input here in this corner of the book right here, not this UPC where the binding is, but the opening of the book right here, there's a 5-digit number that's right here that the students can input in online and can practice along with recordings and videos for their instruments. It is a great tool that is part of that book. So they should definitely take advantage of that. But also using Google Classroom and Flipgrid for assignments, so that way Mr. Weiss and I can check in on students' progress. So they should have that also for maybe sometimes videos or Note ID reference. They'll find those things in the Google Classroom. And of course, using a tuner or a metronome. Now, if they have a cell phone or a tablet or a Chromebook or a laptop, many different devices do have free apps or online programs that are typically free. Now, there are some that you can purchase, but there are free ones as well that students can use at home for either tuning their instrument or using a metronome for a pulse to keep track of what they do when they play, which they all should. And we've been talking about that in class, what apps and how to use a metronome and how to clap and count, as well as play along. So it helps develop internal pulse. Update in class. What's been going on? What have we been up to? So our 7th graders are off to a great start. We want to make sure we maintain that fire at home. Parents, make sure you're helping their child with a practice routine. Just like doing homework or going to a sport practice or anything else, practicing should also be a part of that. And so you're going to need help guide them on there. Just because it's music and we love it and we have fun and everything, but we still need to help guide them in through that process of this is now your time for practicing. And the students know what to work on. In their Guide to Success book, there's an area in here, and again, you can check throughout the week. They should be filling out in here. Here's an example of their practice journal. Now, it is not a practice log, we're not tracking time, but we are tracking what they should be working on throughout the week. So we started off with week 3 here. So there should be some writing in there of what they should be doing. So it's for them to track what we give them, what they should be working on, and their own reflection on how things have been going with that. All ensembles are really doing nice work. We are actually making progress every single day, and that is the goal. That, we're having fun on our instruments, that we are learning something new, and that we are growing more and more every single day. So we're doing really good with that. Now, I've had some students ask me, Mr. Race, are we going to have a concert? And the answer to that is yes and no. We're going to sort of have something like that. Because of COVID, we can't have a normal concert in an auditorium with a full audience and stuff like that. So there's been discussion about, possibly doing like a virtual live performance with our ensembles. But then there's been discussion of a collaboration performance between Frost, Holmes, and Emerson. And so we're talking about putting together our string orchestra groups, our 7th and 8th graders, to do a virtual performance, our 7th grade band students to all come together to do a virtual performance, and our 8th graders, the band students, to come together and do a virtual performance. So we would be picking a few selections. The students would work those on their own, and we would record their part, and they would have to record their part at home, and then they would submit that to us, and we would put that together to create our virtual performance. We're still working out the details. There will be a Google Classroom page designed for each of these areas. Now, this is going to be set up for students to access from all 3 middle schools, with having all 3 middle school directors on there to help guide and give information. The sheet music will be posted. The links for recordings or other video performances will be there, and other supplemental guidance to help the students prepare these pieces. So I'm looking forward to it. We're still working out details. We're going to be in the progress of that, so the students are aware that it's going to be starting to happen. And so we're going to continue working on that, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So other than that, that's all the information I have for this week. I want to kind of keep it short and brief to the point. Again, there are some students that still have to get some of their work caught up from our Google Classroom. Again, you can check that out, have students show you what assignments that have been completed. They will show you that. I have some students that have been making up their work and getting that turned in, and that's what I'm looking for. So it is not too late to get those things done, but the closing of the marking period is coming up very soon. I think we're about 2 to 3 weeks away now as we come to the end of our first card marking. So we want to make sure that work is getting done and complete. Students can always contact me if there's anything missing. I did do a mass email blast out to anybody that has a number of missing assignments. So there's been some great communication back and forth on that to make sure things are getting caught up. So that's really good. So we want to make sure we stay proactive in getting work done. And not just this class, but all classes. So we're going to make sure we have a great year. Other than that, I hope everyone has an awesome weekend, and I'm looking forward to making music with your students next week. Take care.